Hello, Croeso Fulcher. Welcome back to the channel. Old Boy here. And today I'm in Aldborough in North Yorkshire at the site of Isurium Brigantum, the Roman administrative centre of the Brigantes tribe. And I've brought you here today because I'm going to read out my translation of the story of Prometheus by Apollodorus. Let's get into it.
But Prometheus, having shaped mankind from water and earth, gave them fire, having concealed it in a fennel stalk unknown to Zeus. But as Zeus perceived this, he commanded Hephaestus to nail his body to the Caucasus Mountain, and this is the Scythian Mountain. Indeed, Prometheus, nailed in this way, had been bound a number of many years, and on each day, every day, an eagle flying over to him ate the lobes of his liver, it having grown through the night. And Prometheus was paying that penalty, the fire having been stolen, until later Hercules released him, as we shall show in the following things concerning Hercules. Okay, so just a few linguistic observations here. So in the first line it says, but Prometheus, having shaped mankind from water and earth, gave them fire, having concealed it in a fennel stalk unknown to Zeus. So the first word I'm going to look at here is the word for shaped. And the word being used in the text is plasas. And that is an aorist active participle coming from plaso, which is form or mould. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that Prometheus is literally getting some earth and some water and making a figure of a human and then creating the first humans. Because if we actually look at Roman numeral number 2 on Perseus Tufts, you'll see it says here that the word means generally mould or form by education or training, etc. And now we know that Prometheus gave humankind fire, which was stolen from the gods. So I think the context of what's going on here is he was giving them some kind of knowledge that they weren't supposed to have. Now, this idea of Prometheus shaping mankind from water and earth, it's very reminiscent of how God is described as forming man in Genesis 2:7. So for those of you who aren't familiar, this is the New International Version. Quote, "Then the Lord God formed a man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being." End quote. And if you actually look at the Greek word being used in the text, which is translated as formed, it is eplasen, which is an aorist active form of the same verb being used in the Prometheus text, which can mean to mould or form by education or training. Now I just want to take a look at the word for fire, this fire that Prometheus gave to mankind, and the word being used is pour, and if we look at Perseus Tufts under section A, we can see number 5 says it can also mean lightning. And I just thought it was pertinent to point that out because we all know the significance of the lightning and its imagery within the mystery cults. Now the text says Prometheus conceals this fire within a fennel stalk, and we're just going to take a look at the word for fennel stalk, which is narthex. So on Perseus Tufts here, as you can see next to A, it says the giant fennel. However, if you read along a little bit more, you'll see an entry here which says, of the stalk used as a thursos, and it gives a source there, Euripides Bacchae. So for those of you who don't know what a thursos is, it's the wand or staff carried around by the Bacchae, the devotees of Dionysus. So once again, it looks like the context being used here is certainly connected to the mysteries. And what else is interesting about the entry under narthex, under Roman numeral number 2, is the word can also be used as a casket for unguents. And an unguent is obviously a soft, greasy or viscous substance which is used as an ointment. So it's very interesting that this word also has a medical connotation, as that is exactly what we would expect to find within the mystery religion, as originally the healing aspect and the religious aspect were originally one and the same thing. And while we're on the subject of the medical connotations, if you look a little bit further along on Perseus Tufts under Roman numeral number 2, you'll see that the word narthex is also used as the title of medical works by Heras, Cratipus, and Soranus. Now, the next word I want to take a look at is in relation to the mountain which Hephaestus nails Prometheus to. And the text says that he is nailed to the Caucasus Mountain, and this is the Scythian Mountain. Now, the words being used in the text to convey this is skouthikon oros, and if we look at skouthikon on Perseus Tufts, you can see here it says a Scythian, it says with a ruddy complexion, the Scythian race. But I just want you to take a look at Roman numeral number 3, and you can see here it says the word glucuridza, and if you click on that, it says sweet root, i.e. licorice. And what's interesting about this is I was just reading a medical journal on how they are looking into licorice because they believe it could be an MAO inhibitor. And what's interesting about that is we know the Scythians, they were using cannabis, they were fumigating themselves, they were also using venoms on the arrows, so I just thought it was really interesting that they're also using this other root which seems to have other medical effects.
Okay, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. Please do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And for everyone who continues to support me and this channel, I just want to say a huge thank you. This one's for you. Cheers.